You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I'm Seth with Goldstein Media and Podcast Mastery. Today I have a good buddy of mine, Jeff McQuilkin, who is an award-winning composer based in the New York City-ish area. He's in Yonkers, but he's close enough to New York City that we call it New York City. Whose career spans more than 3 decades. His music has been featured in numerous films and major TV series, including 150 episodes plus of History Channel's American Pickers, Oxygen's Snapped, and more. Jeff also has more of a decade of experience providing content in the marketing space, and is combining his composing and his marketing skills to offer sonic branding, which is, if you know, I'm going to stop right there and say, sonic branding is like, you know, Netflix's bum bum bum, or is that that's Law and Order. Well, that is kind of, when you think of a logo, that's a sound logo, essentially, is what it is. We'll get more into that, but, you know. Anyhow, Jeff is empowering his clients to become top of mind over their competitors using the same branding tools, like global brands like Law and Order and all of the Netflix and, Apple has a good one, too. There's this kind of like very, like, ethereal kind of like kind of thing like that, and, you know, at an affordable rate. So welcome, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Seth. How are you? Thanks for
I'm
having
doing
me.
well. This is fun. I'm glad to finally get you on. We've known each other for a while now. We have mutual clients now, which is fun. Yeah. And man, I didn't even know silent brand. I knew. I guess I knew of silent branding. I just didn't know what the hell it was called, or hey, it was a thing. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was, you know, God forbid someone calls it a jingle, because it's not a jingle. A jingle has words and it's different. Well, actually, let's go into that. What's the difference between a jingle and a sonic brand?
Well, yeah, that's a great question to start off with. So the best way I describe it, there's 2 things. First of all, jingles kind of predate what I do.
Yeah.
I almost consider sonic branding to be the second generation. Okay, Ooh. Jingles kind of led their way, but jingles are primarily written to the ad, and sonic branding is written to the brand. Now, a really good jingle can stick with the brand and become part of their sonic branding. You know, so that's why a jingle can often be used over and over again over a variety of years, if it does well for the company. But initially, a jingle is written for the ad.
Yeah. Whereas, like, branding, if you think of sonic branding, is more the brand.
We're paying attention to what they want, what people want their brand to sound like, what they want people to feel when they think of their brand, because music is conveying emotion. Music and sound conveys emotion, and so that's what we're doing. We're writing directly to the brand to create an audio representation of the brand.
I love that, because, you know, like, bum bum bum. When you hear that, you know it's Law and Order.
Right.
You just know it. Of course, you may screw it up with Netflix, like I did at the beginning of the show, but, you know.
Yeah,
they're similar.
We're singing it instead of playing it, but it's ba-dong. Right?
That's Netflix?
That's Netflix.
All right. Padong versus bum bum bum.
But, you know, McDonald's has a sound. Intel has a sound.
Like, yeah.
You know, T-Mobile has a sound. All of these companies do that. And the important thing, Seth, is the reason that they do it is not to make their brand snazzy.
No, it's memorable.
Because they know there's a direct correlation between brand recall and more sales, and the science says that audio delivers on brand recall better than anything visual they can create.
Oh, wow.
So you combine the visual and the audio, and you really imprint it in people's mind. You give the brain a mnemonic device.
Oh, so it's just mnemonic. Yeah, that makes logical sense, because, you know. So honestly, because my brain keeps going back to the Law and Order bum 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 constantly now. Now it's like stuck. Now it's like an earworm stuck in my head right now. So you've been doing this you've been doing composing and branding, and both, you know, not audio branding content and all that stuff. and audio branding for more than 30 years. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I've been a composer for 30 plus years. I've been
Yeah.
scoring to film and TV for about a little over 10. And
Wow.
I just started doing sonic branding about a year ago. And I do it specifically, all the examples we mentioned are large companies.
Yeah.
And there are agencies that service those companies and charge 5 and 6 figures in general for
Seriously,
the privilege
wow.
of doing those brands. Last year, I figured out that small businesses can benefit from this. And
Yeah.
so I serve exclusively small businesses, small to mid-sized businesses.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I'm doing it is because really more than anything else, we're now kind of all needing to create content in order to compete. Small business these days kind of have to be content creators, whether they're doing paid ads, whether they're doing social media, whether they're doing
And it all
YouTube
involves
videos,
audio,
podcasts,
yeah.
all those kind of things. But because the problem is now we're all creating content. And so it's all starting to get in that competitive digital space. People are starting to tune out our messages. It's getting harder and harder to get your message heard. You may have the best unique selling proposition in the world. It doesn't matter if nobody's listening.
Yeah, that makes logical sense.
The
Yeah.
idea behind this is you create that, it's kind of timely for small businesses to start taking advantage of getting a mnemonic device into their branding collateral by giving their brand a sound. So
That's
when
cool.
that brand has sounds in their audiovisual material, people
Yeah.
begin to remember it. So if you have 10 competitors in your space and you're the one with sonic branding, you're the one that's most likely to be remembered when they need what you have to offer. It's
I
kind
guess
of
it
that
makes sense for example, like a lawn care company, if they come up with like a vroom or something like that, or for better, put words to that would be like a lawnmower sound. That might actually be versus someone who just says, "Hey, we do lawn care."
Right, right.
You're gonna remember because it's gonna be so like, "What the hell was that?"
Right. I actually am working on I'm getting ready to work on a sonic branding package for a construction company, and they
Oh,
want some of the sound of their power tools
oh,
involved in designing
yeah.
their sound. I think that's a great idea. So, they're going to probably send me some recordings from the field, and I'm going to integrate that into their
Oh,
sonic
that's
branding.
fun.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of creative
It's
things.
like a collage almost, an audio collage.
Yeah, yeah.
You can steal that. I'll let you use audio
Thank you,
collage.
thank you. Well, actually, my wife is an artist, and
Oh, there you go.
and she's exploring multimedia and collage stuff and all that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing,
you can give her that, yeah.
integrating into her paintings. So I understand that concept very well.
I love
But yeah,
it.
it's all there's a whole lot of different ways to do it. The important thing is that A, it's original.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be original. B, it has to be protected. So
Yes.
don't try to do this with AI, even though
No,
AI
'cause you
can
can't
do it, because you
copyright
can't
AI.
copyright AI. You can't
No.
protect it. And 3,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be, and this is the most important, it needs to be memorable. It needs to
Mm-hmm.
stick in people's minds. So
Wow, that's wild. Yeah.
so
I mean, I know a lot of
that's-
people
that's
use
what we aim
AI
for.
and they think, oh, it's protected. And I'm like, not really.
It's
I
really
mean,
not.
you can
It's
use
not.
it. Just don't be upset if someone steals it because they're not going to steal it. They're just it's just kind of in the
Well,
ether.
there are 3 things I tell people about. There's actually some danger in using AI, in my
Okay.
view, to do this, because the number one thing is you can't protect it by law. Anything that is not generated by a human is not copyrightable. So as soon as AI generates it, it's instantly public domain.
Yeah.
And so
Which is not necessarily a bad thing if that's what you're going for, but if you're not going for that, it's a bad thing.
right, and yeah, it's not it's not bad for all applications, but but sonic branding is part of your branding. It
Branding.
needs to be protected. So you don't want a competitor grabbing that and using it and pretending to be you.
That'd be bad.
So
And it's
so
been
that's number
done,
one,
I'm sure,
and it
yeah.
has been done. And the second thing is by definition, generative AI, that's a misnomer. Generative AI is
Oh, it's-
derivative by nature.
So you might get a bum, but it might be bum.
That
Yeah.
that AI has been trained on thousands of pieces of music that have been written by other people, human beings, usually without their permission.
Uh-huh.
And
gets
so
messy.
it's regurgitating. So the best you can hope for with AI is something that sounds like something else.
Yeah, and that you don't get sued.
You don't get, yeah. Well, and then that's the third thing. You can get sued.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long shot, but if a composer who has written music and you use something that sounds too similar that's
Yeah.
generated by AI and they hear it, they or the
Yeah.
publisher could potentially sue you and they would win
Artists do this
because
all the music
they
artists
have
do it
the
all the
copyright and
time.
you don't.
And
Yeah,
music artists do this all the time. They sue each
yeah.
other constantly. Like, you stole my bed. You stole my riff.
So the
And
key
it's
is
like, oh my
it has
God.
to be
Yeah.
copyrightable and you have to you somebody you or somebody in your world has to have the copyright. So basically to keep my costs down, to keep the cost down to the consumer, in most cases I hold the copyright and I give them an exclusive perpetual license so nobody else can use it, including
That's
me.
cool.
I can't relicense it to anybody else because they could sue me. So
Exactly.
but the point is it is copyrighted and protected. So if
Exactly.
someone
And
tried to
you're
steal
the
it, they
guardian
go after
angel
them.
on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the keeper of the copyright, keep an eye on things. That's
Yeah.
kind of, it's because it keeps the cost down, but it also keeps the arduousness of keeping an eye on things. I mean, you keep an eye on it because say, hey Jeff, someone stole our sound.
Yeah, and
And
then
Jeff's
we
like,
can. Right. Yeah.
tisk.
And if they
Exactly.
want the rights, I'll sell them the rights. I
Yeah.
mean the big projects, those big companies, they own the rights to that.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. But yeah,
but that's also part of what makes it so expensive.
exactly. It's
Because
time,
once
money.
that composer,
Yeah.
if the composer is going to sell you the rights, it's almost like the difference between licensing a piece of software and buying the code.
Yeah.
So if you buy the rights to the music, that's the last chance a composer is going to have to make money on it.
Oh, because there's no royalty.
There's no royalties.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. I get that because the
That's
software
why they buy the
licensing.
rights.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's worth it to buy the rights for those big companies because if they're advertising internationally,
Yeah.
every
It gets messy if you don't have the
It
rights.
gets legally
Yeah.
messy if they don't own it. So it's just simpler to own it.
But when you're a lawn care company down the street, who the heck cares?
Exactly. You don't need
as
that.
long as it's protected. Exactly.
Perfect. You got it. It just
Love
needs
it,
to be
man.
protected. So
I love it, dude.
But it needs to. Those are the things. It needs to be distinctive and memorable and protected, and then
Love it.
and it becomes part of your brand. And the important thing is that it really actually works. I mean, this it's not just, again, it's not just fancy. The research says that sonic branding improves brand recall by as much as 98%.
Yeah.
It causes marketing and ads to perform up to 8.5 times better.
Wow.
That's all established research. I can give you the research. So
I believe you, but
yeah,
we can also look it up. Yeah.
yeah, but I like to, I'm not just throwing numbers out there. Those are the numbers. So
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Love
and
that.
so I've already begun to see small businesses benefit from this and get
Love it.
traction against their competitors by being
Oh, I'm
the
sure
only
because you're
company
different.
that uses that sonic branding.
So, Jeff, you've been an entrepreneur for a long time now.
Yeah, I've actually been in some respects, I've been a freelancer for 15 plus years.
Exactly. So what is what's in your mind the best thing about being an entrepreneur versus like being a cog of the wheel?
Oh,
Well, I guess
yeah.
I can-
Well,
yeah.
you know what? First of all, I love being able to choose my clients.
Yeah.
I like being able to choose who I work with, and I also like being able to set my own hours.
That's nice. Yeah.
When things, once you have kind of a system in place and things are running smoothly, I've been able to, as a freelance, before I started doing this, I was a freelance writer. And I, right at the height of the blogging phenomenon, SEO stuff, and I was able to, work part time, buy a house with that money,
Wow.
and have plenty of time to spend with my family, plenty of time to work on music. So
It's the freedom. Yeah.
when you have a good system in place, I mean, yes, it does come with its risk. It does come with some insecurity, but you are your own boss. You can't be fired.
Yeah.
So if you
your wife can
need
tell you to get a
more
job, and
income,
then-
you go out and get the more income. And the key to being a good entrepreneur is learning how to get the income.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, what keeps you up at night, especially with the new sonic branding and stuff? I mean, like, you're up there thinking, like, Eureka, I got the brand at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, oh, man.
Well, the longer you do this, the less. I mean, beginning a project's always intimidating.
Yes.
Because there's always that little we all suffer a little bit from imposter syndrome, and You know, am I gonna fail this time? But almost inevitably, because you're relying on years of skill and a little bit of talent, and it always seems to come through. Whether you believe in God or the universe or however you look
or the
at
spaghetti
that,
monster or whatever.
I always feel like I'm tapping into something outside myself and just kind of bringing it into the world. And there's always new ideas. You're not going to run out of ideas, and that's the creatives kind of eventually figure that out. You stop being in love with every idea you create because it's not going to be the last one. So it doesn't really keep me up at night. I get a little nervous at the very beginning of a project, but usually
as you should.
Minutes,
healthy.
Usually within a few minutes, I'm on a path that gets me where I need to go. And so
exactly. It's more like the eureka moments probably keep you up at night, like or wake you up in the middle of the night saying, "I have the idea," and you have to go run into the other room.
Well, actually, what it is if I wake up and then I'm in that kind of lucid dreaming kind of thing, and I get a musical idea that I love, and I'll play it in my head until I wake up, and then I'll forget it because I was in my dream state, and I'm like, oh crap, what was that great thing? And of course, if I went back into that, it might not have been as great as I thought.
It's always that way. You think it's great when you're kind of dozy, and then if you write down your idea and you come back in the morning, you're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome. And all right, so what's the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you rephrase it?
Yeah, like you carry your it can be a physical, like your phone, it can be your keyboard, or it could be as woo as you want to get.
Okay, well, usually my phone and my laptop are the things that are with me 90% of the time.
As they should be, yes.
And so that way, if I do have an idea, I've got a voice record, or I'll hum it, whatever the melody is.
So that's how you remember it.
But a lot of times, you know what? Believe it or not, I don't even have to do that. A lot of composing happens outside the studio.
How so?
Well, because I tend to, not everybody's like this, but for me, I tend to run my mind through musical ideas while my routine is on autopilot. So if I'm driving from A to B,
that could be dangerous.
I will. Well, because my brain is where I'm doing the rules of the road. I'm following all that. Yeah. But it's like something's got to occupy my mind. If I'm listening to music, maybe I'll turn off music and I'll write something in my head while I'm driving. And by the end of the trip, I've got a song.
That's pretty cool.
If I'm struggling with ideas, like I can't do this as easily anymore, but I used to have a studio in Brooklyn by the river.
Yeah.
And so if I got stuck, or I just got tired of being in my little cubicle, I would go out and grab a bagel and sit by the water and just clear my head.
Yeah,
and then some of the best ideas would just come to me while I'm sitting there.
With a New York style bagel. That sounds good right now.
Oh yeah. No, nothing like them.
Nothing like them, absolutely. So Jeff, people can find you online. Sonic Branding over at jetstreamdigitalstrategies.com. We'll have all these in the show notes, but you're also on LinkedIn. You're on Liable. You can also schedule a free 1-hour strategy session.
Yeah, that's kind of the best way to figure out what you want to do and if it's a good fit. Because we'll go over, we'll evaluate if you schedule a 1-hour strategy session with me. What happens during that is we will go over some specific things about content marketing. Find out what your content marketing plan is. If it's something that you need. If you're doing good business with referrals and word of mouth, and you don't need anything else, then you don't need me.
Yeah, it's best to figure that out before you spend the money.
If you want to find cold leads through content, that's where I'm helpful. And so we'll find out what you're doing, what you're planning to do, and then see how Sonic Branding fits in that. And that's what that 1-hour strategy. But then there's no charge, there's no obligation. It's just I'll give you an hour of my time to figure out if this is right for you.
And then it's also a good referral base for you because they might not be right for you. Right. But they might know somebody who's right for you.
Yeah, and I'm already starting to get, this thing is less than a year old, and I've already starting to get referral business. So
love it, man. Yeah. I love it. Well, Jeff, this has been so much fun, and we'll see everyone next week.
Thanks for having me, Seth.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, Consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.